Hey Year 8s, welcome back to my living room. For this week you have another 2 activities. In fact, activity 1 is actually activity 2 from last week if you did the recording instead. And here's a reminder of that. I would like you to write an alternative ending for the Blood Brothers. We know at the end of the play, because we've studied it already, that Mickey finds out about Eddie and Linda having the affair. He storms Eddie's council office and unfortunately ends up shooting him dead. And then the police come in and shoot Mickey. What if that hadn't happened? What if he storms into the offices and it ends differently? Do they work it out? Do they figure out a way of moving forward and being in each other's lives as brothers? Do they even learn that they're related? It is completely up to you, but I want you to consider the fact that Mickey and Eddie are still very, very different people. The way that you write Mickey needs to be appropriate to the rest of the play, and the way that you write Eddie needs to be appropriate to the rest of the play. I do not want you to use bad language, despite what we've already seen in the play, but for the purposes of this script, I don't want you to include that, please. It's not really that appropriate. I want you to really consider, how would things change if they had not died at the end of that play? Okay, so your alternative ending can be either typed directly into a reply to the email that I'm going to send the work through on, or you can type it up in something like Word and send that on to me, to my email address as well. And if you really, really want to, you can perform the scene if you have somebody at home that you can perform it with. Even if you don't, I think it'd be fantastic if you did it on your own. I'm stuck here in quarantine going crazy. Having your video clips would be very, very entertaining to me to no end, I'm sure. And number 2 is a ladder activity. All this means is that I'm going to set you 5 different activities, very, very short, small activities. The first one, you'll need to give me 5. Second one, 4, 3, 2, 1, until you give me all the information you need. So here's the first one. Can you please give me 5 key moments in Blood Brothers? What this will do is it'll prove to me that A, you understand the play, B, you are listening, and C, you can actually highlight the 5 most important parts. Number 2, name 4 characteristics of Mickey and 4 characteristics of Eddie. Now, what I mean by characteristics is their personality traits, the way that they behave, etc. So 4 things for Mickey and for Eddie. Number 3, I want you to identify 3 characteristics of Mrs. Johnston and 3 characteristics of Mrs. Lyons. Now, like I said before, characteristics are things like their personality traits and how they behave. And you're only being asked to do 3 for these characters because we didn't study them in as much detail as we did Mickey and Eddie. So 3 for Mrs. Johnston and 3 for Mrs. Lyons, please. Number 4, give me 2 things that you did really well in the last term. So all the way from Christmas up until now. And if you could make those comments related not to just you rocking up to class, because that's fantastic, but things like you worked well with your group, you performed Eddie particularly well because you used appropriate vocal expression. Be super, super specific. 2 things that you did really well this term. And finally, number 5, I want you to give me one thing that you think you could have done better this term. Now, like before, don't give me something general like, I didn't come to class, I should have come to class. What I'd like you to do is make it really specific to Blood Brothers and say, when I was playing Mickey at 7 years of age, I did not behave like a 7-year-old as much as I should have. Maybe I could have been behaved a little bit more childish. Okay, so be super, super specific so that we can absolutely tell that you guys have really looked at what you didn't do so well and how you could have improved it for this term. And that's it for this week. But if you remember last time, I asked you to think about what you have been doing to stay active during this lockdown. I've had a few comments, thank you very much for those. But what have you been doing to stay active? I'm going to show you what I've been doing. Absolutely nobody here. Come on.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Yep. And that's what I've been up to in the last few days, just to keep my mind and my body ticking over in what is going to be an incredibly difficult time for the whole country, the whole world at this point in time. Which leaves me with my final note. Please remember, guys, stay inside if you don't absolutely have to leave, for a medical emergency, to get supplies for the house, or once a day to exercise. If you have any questions, drop me an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, stay home, stay healthy. See you soon.